Good morning, I'm Henk from Paul Rene.
And I'm Monica.
We're a small method cup classique producer in Robertson, and today we are going to be tasting our Paul Rene Brut and our Paul Rene Brut Rosé. So when we started, our first vintage was in 2009, and for the first 3 years we only produced a Brut which was 100% Chardonnay. It always has been, and it has always been a vintage. So the first vintage was 2009, and what we are tasting today is the 2016 vintage. It's 100% Chardonnay, and it was all handled very delicately, hand-picked, and only pressed very lightly with a small recovery, only the cuvee 450 litres per tonne, and it was aged on the lease for 24 months. Degorged in December 2018. And it's now 4 years old, and it's definitely still quite fresh. It's got a lovely mousse still. You can feel it. I want to feel a bubbly in the front, and I also want to feel the length of the mousse in the back of the mouth, and then it just disappears ever so gently, and there's a lot of citrusy flavor. So very much lemon and lime flavors, and it's still very fresh and a bright acidity, and it's drinking lovely at the moment. Your thoughts, my dear?
I'm happy.
Okay. So yeah, we're very happy about how this wine is aged and matured. As I said, the freshness that you experience with this wine, and the time that it's spent on the lease, as well as the time on the cork, it's lovely. It's definitely evolving a little bit and finding some more bready notes, but also, in the beginning where it was more of a limey character, we've also found sort of apple, pear, or rather peach, and also some orange flavor. Hey, Joan. So yeah, and it's definitely has some bready notes now. It's definitely evolved with some bready notes, and I think it's can say at its best now, but it's got a few more years to come as well. But we will be degorging. We're running towards the end of this vintage now, so we will be degorging our 2017 somewhere this year. What is significant about that is, whereas we've always had our time on the lease between 24 and say 28 months, we've extended our lease time. It took us a long time to get to this, but we've extended the lease time, so the next degorgement will be 36 months on the lease. Can't wait to taste that. Then the sister of the Brut is the Brut Rosé. So we started the first year, as I've said, we only had the Brut, which was 100% Chardonnay. Then we moved over we started with the Brut Rosé, which is 75% Pinot Noir and 25% Chardonnay. So we're going to try to taste that one now. So again, this is the 2016, same as the Brut. Same vintage. It's always been a vintage. So it's got a very light, sort of understated pale pink or light hue. It was difficult to get the right and the same consistent color. It's not easy, but we're very happy with this with the color of this vintage. So again, I think for a bubbly that's 4 years old, I still very much pick up on the freshness. It's still very vibrant. Tastes young.
I like it.
Still a very nice, vibrant mousse. You can feel the bubbles in your mouth. You can feel it in the front and in the back, and then it just disappears. There's still a lovely freshness about it. And definitely a lot of red berry flavors. I'm thinking cherries, strawberries, raspberries. Also a nice dry finish. We wanted a rosé that is nice and dry. This is beautiful, very elegant, and again, very happy with the freshness that it showed over so many years. And this was, as I said, the same as with the Brut. It was 24 months on the lease, and our next engorgement later this year we will be moving over same recipe in terms of dosage, but another year on the lease, so slightly more mature, but very happy with this. Also very happy with the look and the label and the ribbon that my lovely wife designed for us. And with our first vintage, we had the 800 ribbons that we had to put on was quite a how can I say it was a labour of love back then, but now it's turned into quite a bit of a job to put a few thousand, 20,000, 30,000 ribbons on. But nevertheless, we're grateful for that. So, yeah. And drink Paul Rene.